Alright guys, I hope you're all doing well and welcome to this tournament grand finals. It's going to be the Dwarves facing off against the Chaos Dwarves in a classic grudge match here on the Changers Madhouse. The players are going to be Grumbrindle and Navi. So if you guys missed the tournament we had a couple days ago, we didn't quite make it to the grand finals on stream, so here are the grand finals. Now for the Dwarvish build here, it is going to be the Grim Delvers out in Vanguard, and these guys certainly pack a huge punch. If you're going to be dealing with anything big or scary or even just infantry, whatever, they're good against most things in the game if they can get line of sight, that direct fire, and unleash their salvos. But, you know, in terms of efficiency here, maybe we would see trains, Kadai Fireborn, Bull Centaur Renders as anti-armor options for the Chaos Dwarves, and the Grim Delvers will be good against most of those threats. And if they want to fly over you and try and get to your cannons with, let's say, a Bale Taurus or a Lamassu, probably not going to see a Lamassu, right? But the Grim Delvers are going to be able to keep them honest. For the rest of the Dwarven army, it is going to be led by the White Dwarf, and he's going to be teaming up with Felix Jaeger. Very, very good combo. Felix is going to be applying the healing aura to Grumbrindle as they fight near one another. And, you know, dwarves and healing, they're very durable, so every HP that you do heal on a dwarf is very cost effective. And the rest of the build, just standard, Longbeards actually too. Okay, Longbeards, we have double cannon, which is very, very necessary. Chaos Dwarves often, you know, if they can bring magma cannons or trains or other things like that and go unpunished, they can be very good against dwarves. But you always want to bring cannons if you're the dwarves, because you can basically outtrade all the Chaos Dwarf artillery, and it looks like the Chaos Dwarf player did go with double Deathreaker, which I think is a colossal mistake in this matchup. I mean, they're okay against gyrocopters if you're expecting gyro cheese, but in this particular tournament, gyrocopters were banned anyways, but it looks like he's going to be using the anti-infantry mode on these to try and spray fire into the dwarf warriors. Magma cannons, if any artillery at all, are the way to go. So for the Chorf army here, we do have this is like the most cookie cutter standard Chorf army, the double Deathreak and Bale Taurus character, although it is Draz Hoth actually, so that I take back my cookie cutter statement. He is extremely off meta, but the double Deathreak and the Bale Taurus Sorcerer, just the generic Lord option, are the more meta choice across the board, but not against dwarves. Against dwarves, your best bet is probably going with like foot characters, going a little bit wider, using wolf riders to shut down artillery and things like that. But I'm really curious if the Chaos Dwarf player is going to be able to pull this one out, because if I was a betting man, you know, watching this, I'd be a little bit worried for the dwarves here. Although, can they use, or the Chaos Dwarves, can they use this to hide the cannons? That would be super MLG, and that is one maybe trick. Maybe he knows the map and brought it in that for that reason, right? So it is going to be Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and the Sky, we have Draz Hoth, the Chad. He's going to be rocking Flames of Asgore, which is really good at melting a single unit, right? But this is going to require a lot of micro from our Chaos Dwarf player. He's going to need to juke back and forth and avoid these shots. It's going to be a ton of effort. Do we also have an engineer back here? Interesting. So we do have a master engineer. He actually has the artillery master, so the dwarven artillery pieces are going to be getting soft step stat-wise, and he has Flash Bomb to slow down attackers, calling in Dragonback Slayers to defend the artillery as the Chaos Dwarf launch their onslaught. The Hobgoblins screeching from the hills in the realm of Tzeentch, and they are going to be pouring onward. And with good micro, you should be able to fan out and get around these dwarves pretty easily. I wouldn't try and press the Vanguard spawn because a miner could pop out, but going like through here and through here, and surrounding those cannons, you should be able to at least get one of those. Now, the Deathshriekers, pretty good damage out of the gates, and the cannons are shooting at the Bale Taurus character, and he's going to be going for Felix. Now, that is a really good decision by Navi. A very, very good target priority here, but Felix does hold firm, and it looks like Grumbrindle, the White Dwarf, not going to be letting his buddy get hammered, and he got a little bit close, too close to the Grim Delvers, but at least is going to be responding with the Flames of Asgore, and the Flames of Asgore tearing through the Grim Delvers, and the Deathshriekers also landing, and that is going to be a one-shot KO basically on the Grim Delvers. Not one-shot, but they're very, very beat up, and now these Chorf Warriors should be able to beat them. In the meantime, though, Draz Hoth getting a little bit too crazy over here. You don't want to be fighting Grumbrindle. He has the Rune Axe, and Draz Hoth is going to be needing to flee the situation as we do see the artillery pouring in. And the Hobgoblin Wolf Riders, it looks like they abandoned their attack. One of them does attack into Longbeards, which is a very, very strange decision. Maybe just trying to overload this flank and collapse them, but not going to be easy. Dwarves are incredibly stalwart. On the backside, the Deathshriekers are shooting, which is interesting, because they're trying to snipe Draz Hoth. If the Chaos Dwarf player was microing really ferociously with Draz Hoth, it would be better to move the cannons up and probably try and take down the Deathshriekers, although just keeping that pressure on Draz Hoth isn't a bad idea by any stretch of the imagination. Here on the point, we do see blasting charges going down to the Chorf Warriors, and Draz Hoth is going to be attempting to cycle charge and get Felix. He does make contact there and gets a very nice hit, and obviously in a one-on-one fight, you can see he then hits Grumbrindle, but the problem is if you don't alpha strike one of those two targets, you're just going to get, 2v1 by those characters, and Grumbrindle is an insanely good duelist, right? So now we're going to see the Wolf Riders try and sneak by. Two of them are going to be running up the side here. One of them, it looks like he had all 3 control groups there and just accidentally moves into the Dwarf Warriors here. But the Hobgoblins got some openings. If they move in there, those cannons could be in serious trouble. Now back in the middle, we see the Chaos Dwarf Warriors trying to fight on the point, but they are slowly losing it to the Dwarves. Grombrindle and Felix, both pretty much hard counters against Chaos Dwarf Infantry. The artillery, friendly fire, you gotta love it. That's the signature Dwarfs. Infernal Guard Great Weapons coming in. I actually like these guys a lot in the Dwarf matchup. They got a cost reduction 1 or 2 patches ago, and I feel like they're pretty cost effective for that kind of like borderline elite infantry unit. And if they are to fight Dwarf Infantry, they can do pretty well. So here comes the push. The Hobgoblins did manage to get past a couple pieces here, but the Slayers are going to intercept them. And oh, the Flash Bomb from the Master Engineer, pretty MLG. And here comes one charge, and it looks like one of the cannons will be shut down. The other ones do get nailed by the Flash Bomb. The Dwarf player certainly going to be feeling that one. As the Death Shriekers, are they going after Felix? They are. This is actually a good opportunity for Drazhoth to come in and try and pick off Felix right now. He's a little bit beat up. But, you know, for all their efforts, the Hobgoblins do manage to get one cannon down. So one of these cannons is going to be taken apart. Blasting Charge is going to come in, but they'll end up friendly firing the other Dwarves as well. But, you know, at that point, it's kind of like Scorched Earth. It's like Thanos. Fire everything. Get it out of there. But cannon for that is not a bad trade, but certainly the Flash Bomb caught him off guard there. He probably sent them in and looked away thinking he had enough speed to get in. And then what ended up happening is that the Flash Bomb changed the dynamics of that fight pretty hard. Infernal Guard are up on the point, but Grombrindle and Felix are going to be able to handle them pretty easily. We haven't seen a Flames of Asgore in a while, so it's been a hot minute. And the Dwarves do have a lot of elements back here. Oh, the double Death Shriek into Felix is so funny. Value trading, though, isn't terrible. Dwarves are a little bit ahead. Their cannon is stable, being defended by minor units. At this point, probably just, you know, send the Dragonback Slayers up to fight on the point, or maybe send the miners up. You don't need to be keeping this much back here. You know, Dwarfs aren't going to just, like, ninja Objective 3 really quickly, so I do think it would be prudent to move more infantry up. Although it looks like Grombrindle on the backside has sent some Slayers. Oh, Doom Seekers, as well as miners. So the Kadai Fireborn are a good counter pick here by Navi. They do have anti-infantry, and the Doomseekers, though they do magic damage, that will help them a lot against the Fireborn. They are not anti-large like their other Slayer cousins. Flames of Asgore attempt going down here. Going to be tickling the pickle of these Ironbreakers, and actually getting a little bit of respectable damage. Here we do see the big bull, Drazhoth, taking quite a bit of damage. He did manage to get Felix really low, and more Infernal Guard have arrived. Infernal Guard versus Ironbreakers, heavy metal. And those Infernal Guard going to be taking those Dwarves to task here, as that is quite a beating. Ironbreakers probably will end up losing that fight. And where is Drazhoth going to be going? Certainly needs to get a point back here. Kadai Fireborn do lapse on their charge and are going to get charged by the Doomseekers, who do actually have a charge bonus of 40, so that was certainly an unfortunate lapse there. Double Death Shriekers, how are they doing? They're shooting into Felix Jaeger, it looks like, and value on them probably not terrible. 500, and the other one's about 900. So yeah, this is a weird... Normally, Death Shriekers just get killed by cannons in this matchup, but because of the little hiding spot, I think that little like terrain piece actually would hide them from the cannons. So I really like the usage of that. It's pretty good. So Kadai are going to pull back, and then the old Hobgoblins are going to be sent into the Doomseekers, but you need to immediately turn around the Kadai and have them help the Hobgoblins, or else it's basically just going to be a massacre. The Doomseekers will cut them to shreds. So we'll see how quickly the Chaos Dwarf player Micros. Seems like he's struggling a little bit there. On the backside, we do see Chaos Dwarf Warriors and Orc Laborers moving up, as well as Drazhoth the Ashen heading over here. And he did have good micro there, so he turns around, gets the Kadai in on top of the Hobgoblins, which is exactly what you need to try and take down a Doomseeker unit. Even still, the Doomseeker might be able to find a way to win that one. But the Dwarves do have the triple cap. Value, though, is kind of evening out a little bit. Chaos Dwarf's going up on value, which is pretty wild. Looks like Felix was taken out by the Death Shriekers, and here we have some Infernal Guard Great Weapons. Master Engineer, I think he's trying to get him with the Flash Bomb. Oh, marked by Ulthar. Okay, so it was actually the Ulthar's Raiders with the Great Weapons who got him, and now the Death Shriekers are trying to snipe Grombrindle? This is the weirdest game ever, I swear. The long-drawn Slayer Pirates do get attacked by Drazhoth, so if he can get them to pile in on him, and then he can use the Flames of Asgore, that'd be a huge play. Bit of back pressure coming in. One of the Hobgoblins does sneak past the Dwarf defenses and is going to be seeking vengeance on the cannons back here. In the meantime, we do see the Kadai Fireborn on the point, and they are able to finish off the Doomseeker. So here the Dwarf should be able to get objective 1 back, but you don't want to be playing this way against the Dwarves where you're really, really behind on the objectives, because man, they are really tough to uproot, especially if they just hunker down in the back objective with like blasting charges, all that stuff. And Drazhoth, he did attack the Slayer Pirates, but he did end up pulling away. Now the Slayer Pirates are unleashing a hellish salvo into Drazhoth here. Back on the point, we do see Objective Dose being owned by the Dwarves, and we do see the arrival of the Dragonback Slayers, and Grombrindle, the White Dwarf, trying his best. In the back, the cannon was dove, but it looks like some miners were called out and were able to get blasting charges. And now a little bit of back pressure from the Chaos Dwarves. I don't hate this. Orc Laborers will actually trade reasonably well into a Dwarf miner unit. I don't know who would win in a vacuum. We'll have to see, but we'll watch this battle with great interest. Now, looking across the battlefield, though, this is a game that, in my opinion, is massively in the favor of the Dwarfs right now. Sure, value trading is kind of even, but Chaos Dwarves are looking very tattered, and a lot of the value the Chaos Dwarves have is kind of back here, right? These two Deathstreakers are a big portion of the army. Drazhoth is extremely beat up here. Oh, Felix actually lives. Oh my god, he found a way. Somehow Palpatine has returned. But I don't see too many opportunities for the Chaos Dwarves to get back in this game. Felix Jaeger here is still alive. He's going to be healing himself in Grombrindle in a moment. Drazhoth has been doing all right, actually. 2,200 value on Drazhoth. I love all the Polish names. Yeah, that's pretty fun. But we do see the Kadai Fireborn doing a great job. They're very good against Dwarves. I really like them as like kind of a surprise like mid-late game piece. In the starting army, they're not very good. It's very easy for Dwarves to focus them, but as like a late game piece, I think they're very dynamic and pretty useful. So moving up are the Goblin Laborers and the Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits, and we do also have the Kadai Fireborn heading towards Objective 2. On the backside here, the Hobgoblin Wolf Riders do get caught with another Flash Bomb, and they're really getting caught pretty hard this game. Slayers are going to tear them to pieces, but another Fireborn unit moving in. Back objective is going to be resecured by the Chaos Dwarves, and the Deathstreakers, are they getting any work done? They are shooting at the advancing Dragonback Slayers in their spray fire mode. Grombrindle and Felix, this is really, really bad for the Chaos Dwarves. The heroes of the old world. Scorched Earth. Right as I'm trying to compliment them, geez, they get blown up by a bunch of rockets. But they are healing, so that's going to really set the value difference here. As you can see, yeah, Chaos Dwarves are ahead, but they're really not ahead. Drazhoth is running away, 88 HP, so that is pretty unfortunate. The Long Dong Slayer Pirates, are they going to get it? Guard mode, Drazhoth at 21 HP. Uh-oh, X going to give it to you, and they're ripping those shots as they do chase down the big man. The big man is going to be running for the hills, and I suspect that the dreaded Long Dong Slayer Pirates will be able to get him down, or he's just going to flee off the battlefield. So back objective retaken by the Dwarfs, but it's 1,300. I think that's pretty much GG. I don't see too many other ways in which the Dwarfs are going to get back in this. Nope, not going to happen. Back objective is secured, and GG, well played. So that was the tournament grand finals for our little late night double elimination SFT. So the Dwarves did come in through the winners bracket, and the losers bracket were the Chaos Dwarves. They rose from the ashes, but that's always been, in my opinion, not always, but in the early days when it first came out, Chaos Dwarves were doing great there. When Magma Cannons had the same range as Dwarf Cannons, oh my god, that was horrific. But now I think it's pretty heavily Dwarf favored. Still winnable, maybe like a 60-40 matchup, maybe like 65-35, even that bad. But yeah, considering how, in my opinion, I think the Dwarf build was not good against this Dwarf build or against Dwarves in general. But he played well enough to, keep the game kind of close. But you could see the build just kind of started to fall apart a little bit. Deathstreaker's got reasonable value, but that's just because Grombrindle didn't move his cannons up and snipe them. He could have done that pretty easily. Also, he didn't need to lose that other cannon. He could have kept that thing alive pretty easily, I would say. But GG, well played. Really, really fun match there between these two mighty champions. That is the tournament win for the White Dwarf. And ladies and gentlemen, Drazhoth will go back to his citadel. He'll scheme, and we will be back with more grudge matches soon.